We are live. Good morning, Rabbi. So today is Daf Amud Aleph in Eruvin, 30 Daf into Eruvin. Today's Shiur is Eli Nishmas, Imi, Rosbas, Mordechai, and sponsored by Yossi Klein, which I unfortunately forgot to print out his thing. Yossi Klein, what's the Lashon? Thank you for all you do for Klal Yisrael, etc. Yossi Klein. Yishkoyach Gadol Ma'od Reb Yossi. Yeah. Well, I don't know what that means. Yeah. Shkoyach. Last night, somebody walked in the middle of Shiur and gave me 2 envelopes. And I want to read the letter inside the envelope. It says, Dear Rebelli and the crew at MDY, Mazel Tov on returning to MDY. I'm happy to see that progress is being made in the construction of the Beis Medrash. But it bothers me that the newly installed Sfarim shelves are empty. I am sending you, because it's the 8-minute daf, I'm sending you 888 shekel, which I know isn't enough to make a dent in filling even one of those shelves, but hopefully others will follow. Yesterday, I don't know if he wants his name mentioned yet, but somebody donated at least 1 full art scroll shas. He might have donated 2, I don't know, but we'll see. And each one is a tremendous purchase. Please purchase Sfarim that Rebelli will use in his preparation for Shiur. Thank you for all that you do for me personally and for spreading Torah throughout the world. Best wishes to the entire crew in MDY and MDY family. For Ksiva Chasima Toiva, Avi and Eliza Sherman. P.S. After you purchase the Sfarim, please let me know. Okay, fine. That there's another envelope with a check. Well, it was a gift card for me. Dear Rebbe, thank you for sharing your Torah with me during Tafshin Pei. May you be blessed in Tafshin Pei Aleph with good health, happiness, and parnasa for you and your family and all of Klal Yisrael. Ksiva Chasima Toiva, Avi Sherman. Unbelievable. Thank you very much. Yishar Koyach. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'akol niyeh b'dvaroi. I think I came up with a very good idea yesterday. People were asking what they could get me. Some guy actually called me after 12 a.m. last night. He's like, what kind of chair? I want to get you a new chair for the Beis Medrash. I said, no, I'm happy with this chair. Please, I'll get you a chair for Kitzer. And I said this a number of times, but I think this is a win-win-win situation. Win-win-win. And that is, the best gift somebody could get me is to bring one more person to be mitzvah to this year. So if somebody wants to get a gift, I have a practical way. You could give money towards advertising, let's say on Yeshiva World News. Those dollars go very, very far. $5 could bring a person in. So, like this, you could be zoicha in their learning, you'll give me a gift, and that person will be zoicha in learning if he hasn't learned before. So it's a win-win-win. I think it's a murderous idea. If anybody wants to join, let me know. We'll make a nice ad campaign and we'll bring more people to Torah. Mishpacha, something, bekitzer. Do we have time for 1 email here? 2 emails? Huh? Says the Gemara. Thanks. Shkoyach. You want a sponsor? No? Okay.
How much does it cost to sponsor?
I don't know, but you're talking $500, $1,000 could get you a nice, we don't want to mess with small monies. We want to do we have a guy, Nisanel Gantz, who runs the campaign in the beginning of the Masechta. So we could do a mid-Masechta. Shalom Aleichem, Rabbi Badenheim. Look at Badenheim. Look who's here. He's here himself, Rabbi Badenheim. Okay, Shalom Aleichem. First time here, ever, in Beis Medrash. Welcome. Here's an email from Moshe Sela. He says, today we say Ber Pri Adama on hearts of palm. I guess it's a machlokes because they grow to be eaten as heart of palm. In time of Gemara, they did not practice this. They grow the palm tree for dates only. This is my 5th cycle of Daf Yomi, and you're an amazing Magid, and I'll give you a bracha as a kohen hedyot. I'll take a bracha from anybody, especially from a kohen hedyot. This year should be better than your expectations. Yeshur Koyach. Here's another one from Isaac M. He says, I have a few retail cell phone stores. If the rabbi would ever need anything, and if I have it, it's yours. It would be my pleasure. I'm writing to tell you that I have a shiur that I'm supposed to go to in the morning, but sometimes I can't do it. When it happens, I'm on my own. It's very hard to do alone. I work in the store sometimes by myself, and when there's no, Rabbi said, this is an unbelievable eitzah tova. You want to make money? Listen to this eitzah right here. He works in the store sometimes by himself, and when there's no customers, I do the daf with the 8-minute daf. It's hard sometimes because the Eitz Hara makes it difficult and sends some customers. Aha, you want to make money? Turn on that 8-minute daf, and the Eitz Hara is going to send you people. It's unbelievable to have. Kitzer, he pauses it, continues, and they leave. So I'm grateful you have it, very especially with those pictures and 8-minute reviews. Amazing as well. Thank you. Okay, fine. Oh, and yesterday we got this giant package of beans from Mr. Dimbert from Highland Park, Illinois. This is the type of coffee. It's unbelievable. So this is going to be for the oilam here. 2.2 kilos of beans. Shkoyach. All right. So we are starting Daf Lamed Amud Beis, like 8-9 lines from the bottom. Nu sugya. Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Av Beis HaKvaros. So you have an Eruv. You could place your Eruv in the Beis HaKvaros. Now, if it's in the Beis HaKvaros, how are you going to get it? Tana b'nei sheyachal lachayitz v'leilech b'shida teva u'migdal. So we know what a shida teva migdal is. Here's a shida teva migdal, a shida, some sort of armoire, a teva, a box, migdal. Now, these boxes are more than 40 saw. Why? Because if it's less than 40 saw, then it's a kli. Kli's mikabel tuma. But if it's more than 40 saw, it's less. It's not mikabel tuma. Shida teva migdal. Kosavar oil zaruk shmei oil. A moving oil, a temporary oil that moves, like an airplane, is considered an oil. Ubeplukta dahani tanoi. If someone goes in, he travels with a plane into Chutz La'aretz, Shida Teva Migdal, Rebbe Metamo, Rebbe Yossi, Rebbe Yehuda Metaher, B'Maiko Mifligi, what's the Machloikis, Marsova oil Zaruk, Lav Shmei oil? The one who says the Yitame, Rebbe who says Yitame because he holds that this temporary oil is not an oil. There's a Yid that listens to this Shiur every day. He's my Rebbe's father-in-law. You guys know him probably. Yitzchak Cohen. You know Yitzchak Cohen? He works for the OU. He travels to China all the time. You know him? You don't know him? Photographer guy. Like, he's not photographer. He works for the OU, but he likes to take a lot of Gishmaki guy. So it's unbelievable what a Yid does. He drives to Jordan every time he flies to China because he's a Kohen. And he's concerned that they're going to go over the Kfarim. And over the Kfarim, we paskin oil zark, lav shmeil. It doesn't make a separation. I don't know if you ever saw that picture, the guy on the plane with a whole bag. Yedidi Kramer. No, Yedidia's father-in-law. His father-in-law. Yitzchak Cohen. So he drives all the way to Jordan to take a flight where he could get a direct flight from Ben Gurion, and the OU pays for it. He goes all the way over there. It's unbelievable. So, Mar Sava oil zark, lav shmei oil. Mar Sava oil zarok, shmei oil. V'hod Sanyo, Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Daf Lamed Aleph, Amud Aleph, 30 Daf into Eruvin, Rabbi Beis, unbelievable. We're third through, basically. Me'arvin le'koyen, tahar betruma tahira bekeber. You make an Eruv for a kohen who's tahar. In other words, Rashi points out that this is going according to Sumchos, who says that he has to have the ability to use the Eruv. You can't say a Yisrael is going to, if you're a Kohen, you have to have the ability to use the Eruv. And Memela, a Kohen who's Tahar, Betruma Tahira, because if it's Truma Tmeya, no one could eat it. Not even a Tamei Kohen, he can't eat Truma Tmeya. Nobody can eat Truma Tmeya. And a Kohen Tahar that has Truma Tahira, how is he going to eat it? According to Beis Hillel, it's not a problem because Yisrael will eat it. But how does the Kohen eat it? According to Sumchas, the Kohen needs to eat it. Heichi Azel, B'shida Tevo Migdal. He goes into one of these boxes, he flies over with a helicopter, and he's good to go. Now, Rabbi says, since this is a very short Amud, and I am true to my word. We need to make sure. I'm a little nervous that we're going to finish this Amud before the allotted 30 minutes.
More emails.
What?
More emails.
You won't.
More emails. Or I was thinking about that I'm going to demonstrate this Gemara live for a second. I want to show you what's going on here. So it goes like this. Rabbi say, here you have a teva. And I want to show you what's going on here. This is a teva. Now pretend this is 40 saw, this teva right here. Now, this is a caver. Make this a caver. I don't want to make my stender a caver. Here we go. Let me get my stuff. Hold on. So the caver is moving. This is not good. This oil. This caver zarok. It's a moving oil, a moving caver. Here's my eruv. Rabbi said, here's my eruv. So problem number one is that this eruv, if I put it on my caver, what just happened to my eruv? Became tamei. So says the Gemara. The only way this can become tamei is if I use one of the sheva mashkim on it. So if I go like this, I'm going to need some paper towel. If I go like this, I've never done this before, but now it's roy lekabel tuma. Or yayin is one of them, shemen, atazoi. Okay. Now it's roy lekabel tuma, but it never had any water. It's not mekabel tuma. So here's the shaila here, yishkoyach. We had to show it once in Shas, one time. So you have this thing. This never had any water. Pretend this never had water. So it's not mekabel tuma. Now, I'm in a box. I'm a kohen. I'm in a box. Hold on a second. Here we go. I could go like this. Now I have to make sure my hands don't come out of the box, because if my hands come out of the box, then I didn't gain anything. These are the mechitzas. So I go like this. The problem is that this is metal. If this is metal, so it goes over this caver right over here, and it transfers into my hand, I become tamei. Says the Gemara Moirdik. You know what I could do? I could use a pshutik lietz. Pshutik lietz. So if I try to get it with, like, let's say 2 of these, I'm fine. The big issue is that since this is above the caver, this wood goes above the caver, so the tumah hits the bottom of this, and my hand, even though my hand is over here on the other end, but my hand is under this piece of wood, and I become tamei. It's not mekabel tumah. It's an oil. This is a roof.
It's not wide enough to be a roof.
How do you know?
No.
This is thin?
Yeah.
It has to be a tefach.
Is it a tefach?
The circumference could also be a tefach. If the circumference is a tefach, midrabanan, this could transmit the tumah to my hand. Even though my hand is over here, and the tumah is hitting it over here, but the tumah travels this way. Says the Gemara Maridik, we're talking about a piece of wood that the end has a spitz. You see? Like this. And you go like this. Hold on, let's see if this will work. That's it. Do we spend enough time on this?
That was great. Let's go.
That's the.
Wow.
Baskol. All right. Zog the Eli Gemara. I wouldn't have done it otherwise. Ishkoyach. Huh? Funds for sure. I need shorter dapim. All right, Zog the Gemara. Here's one of my favorite presents that I got this week. A bunch of these guys here. He gave me all different colors. David Hagal from Los Angeles got jealous. He's like, "What? So what? This is better than my wax." He's giving me a hard time about the wax. He said, "Like what? What's wrong with the mask?" Fine. Zog the Gemara. Let's see it inside. Look, not that it needed a demonstration, but stop. Once in a while it's kedai. Heichi Yozul, says the Gemara, 2 lines down from Amud Aleph, Amud Aleph. V'kiv da achso itamela. Once the apple is on the caver, it becomes tamei, so the kohen can't eat it. Bishalei huchshara. So this is the famous. Now we know what huchshar lekabel tumah is. I've never done it before in my life. You take a fruit and you say, now I'm pouring something on, a liquid on it, so that it's mekabel tumah. Now it can, if somebody that's tamei that touches it, it will become tamei because I poured that liquid on it. This is an interesting one. Or we're talking about like a cake of some sort that you kneaded it with fruit juice and that doesn't allow it to become tummy yet. Ask the Gemara, but how could he get it to himself? He used a plain, simple wood that doesn't have a toich. It's just flat. Deloi mikabli tuma. Ask the Gemara of a kamahil. At the end of the day, this flat piece of wood, even though it's wood, it creates an oil. And the person that's holding it won't become tamei, Nachman, because he's holding the stick, and the stick is tamei, like we had by the tongs. That's how it works by the tongs, because the metal is tamei, so the entire thing becomes. It should work as oil. Anybody standing underneath that piece of wood, including his own hand, should become tamei. Let's say you have a mace. Let's say you have a dead person in a house, and there's a piece of wood sticking out to the outside. So anybody standing on under that piece of wood on the outside is tamei also, because.
He doesn't have to have it. You can keep his hand on top of it.
Okay, so you could go like this. Yeah. I'm giving you another eight, so it has a spitz. Says the Gemara, the Ma'aseh La'achayri. Okay, great. Yachi, my time of the Rabbanan. So Rashi explains here very interesting. We have to explain this. According to Rabbanan, who don't allow you to go into the kvaras, come tamei, but why can't they allow you to go with a single grave? There's one grave, and one grave you're not going into any tumah. You just have to keep a distance. Okay, I kept a distance. I'm in a nice box. What's the problem? Why is a box not good according to Rabbanan in a single grave? Because savri also liknois bayis bisurei hano. And this is a very interesting thing. Oh, I forgot about that. Thanks. Hey, you want me to turn it on? Yeah, give it to me. I'll turn. You know the password? Says the Gemara, my time in the Rabbanon, because savri also liknois bayis bisurei hano. What does that mean? You're not allowed to use, this is a halacha l'maisa, and I've seen people not knowing this halacha so much. You're not allowed to use a grave for anything. It's asur bahana, nothing to do with kavod hameis. It's asur to use a grave, meaning you cannot put your siddur down on a matzeva. You can't lean on it. You certainly can't step on it. You're not allowed to use it. So how could I use the matzeva to put my eruv on it? Now this has nothing to do with a kohen. This is a Yisrael also. This is not halacha talking about a kohen. Don't put your eruv in a beis hakfaras in a single grave, even if it's Yisrael, because you're not allowed to use it. So then why does it mention the Mishnah kohen? Says Rashi to teach you the chiddush that even according to Rabbi Yehuda, even a kohen may use it. He has a way how to use it. So you're telling me the Rabbanan say the reason you can't put an eruv there is because it's also bahana. So what? So Rabbi Yehuda says that you could put your eruv in a beis hakfaras. He holds that it's mutter to use it. No, so he says a very big yisoid, huge yisoid. Kosov our mitzvah is lav lehenois nitnu. An eruv is only lidvar mitzvah, like to go to a wedding, to go to a simcha, to go to Menachem Avel, a mitzvah. And memela, that mitzvah is not a personal anah. I'm not having anah from the mitzvah. Hashem told me to go visit somebody, to go do nichum. I'm going. It's not my own personal anah. So that's not considered anah. And memela, I could put it on the kaver, and I'm not over any surim. Rava says a statement. He says that if you have a shofar that comes from an oila, you're allowed to listen to shofar, right? Coming up any day. If anybody has an oila, I don't know that we have oilas nowadays, but if you have an oila, carbon oila, which is asur bahana, you're allowed to blow a shofar and you yaitza. Why? Says Rava, mitzvah lav lehenes nitnu. This is not you're not benefiting from it. A whole done. If you get hana in this world, schar mitzvah. Okay, fine. We're not going to go into those details. The bottom line is mitzvah lav lehenes nitnu. So how would Rava just throw out a statement like that? Oh, by the way, you're allowed to use a shofar. If you're telling me there's a machlokes tanoim over here between Rabbi Yehuda and Rabbanon, so he's sticking his head between and he's passing like one, and without any mention that there's actually a machlokes, without any rice. No, I'm saying me Rava, I hold like Rav Yehuda, lav lenisnitnu. They said, or like what he said is he's getting involved in machlokes tanoim. Amalach Rava. If you hold that you can't make an eruv only for dvar mitzvah, the kuli alma mitzvah lav lenis nitnu, everybody holds lav lenis nitnu. You can't. There's no benefit. There's no personal benefit. That's only if you hold that the whole purpose of an eruv is only for one thing, to do mitzvahs. Over here, there's another machlokes. Not whether mitzvahs lehenis nitnu. Everybody agrees you cannot benefit from a mitzvah. That's no shayla. Another machlokes. Mar savar emarvim el dvar mitzvah. Rabbi Yehuda holds that you could only make a eruv for dvar mitzvah for going to visit a novel or a chassan and kala, and therefore lav lehenis nitnu, and therefore I could put it in the kvaras. Umar savar b'rabbanan hold ma'arvin afilu dvar shos, and therefore do not put it in the basic kvaras because you have some personal benefit. The dvar shos, I'm allowed to because I want to visit my friends, time to shmooze. That's a personal benefit, and I cannot use a caver for that. So now Rav Yosef, who's also an Amoira, who said, right, Rav Yosef, Abayi's Rebbe, he says that you could only make an Eruv for a mitzvah. Same question. Without any mention of Machlokes Tanoim, he comes and he just puts down a halacha l'maisa, without discussion, as if, how does it work? Amalach Rav Yosef will answer you. Everybody agrees that it has to be a mitzvah. Everybody agrees that once it's a mitzvah, you don't have enough from it. There's not a machlokes. Rabbi Yehuda says he doesn't care about the bread. He takes an egg. He doesn't keep a caver. He's going to go eat an egg that he put on a caver. Forget about it. He did it symbolically to make an eruv. That's his mokum shvisa. They put a suda over there. He couldn't care less now. He's not having any enough from the No, the guy's not going to give up on his bukal, his egg. He's going to want to go back there. He is having enough favor. Therefore, he cannot do it. That's what Rabbanan hold. Zok the Mishnah. Ma'arvim b'dmai. It's kedai to go over this over and over and over. When you have produce, you have to take Truma G'dayla. Step number one, it's in the Torah. This is how you do it. In this order. 1, Truma G'dayla. How much? Approximately 2%, depending how much you want to give. Really, when the rice, you give 1 kernel of grain and you're done. 2%, let's call it. So what are you left with? 98%. Then you take Meiser Rishon. Then you take Meiser Sheni. Step number 4, Meiser Rishon goes 10% to the Levi. So you take 9.8% and you give it to the Levi. From that Meiser Rishon that the Levi receives, is step number 4, the Levi must give 10% of what he received to the Kohen. That's called Trumas Meiser. It's Truma that comes off the Meiser, rather than Truma G'dayla that the Yisrael takes a mashroom and gives to the Kohen. So the Kohen is getting 2 portions. A much larger portion, from, well, depends. It's not really. It's less than the Rabbanan. So first goes Truma G'dayla, then comes Meiser Rishon to the Levi. Meiser Sheni is the Yisrael takes, and the Trumas Meiser is what the Levi gives. Okay. Now, Ma'arvim b'dmai. Midrabbanon, if you buy fruit from an Amaretz, you have to take Trumas Meisers again, even though the Amaretz claims he took, because they're nechshad. So I can make an eruv with this dmai. Why? You can't eat it. Now, in our mission we learned you don't have to eat it. A nazir can make with yain. Okay, so this we're going to see the Gemara's question according to Meiser Rishon shenitlo trumasoi. Meiser Rishon, you gave to the Levi his 10%. Nitlo trumasoi. Everybody could eat it. Even Israel could eat the Levi's Meiser Rishon. So everything was done. So no chiddush, right? He gave his Meiser Rishon. The Yisrael gave his Meiser Rishon. Shenitla Trumasai. Step 4 was done as well. The Levi took care of his business. He gave his Truma. I can make an Erev out of it. The Gemara will explain what the big chiddush is. Ube Meiser Sheni v'hekdesh shenivdu. Step number 3 that you take on years 1, Aveda, 1, 2, 4, and 5 of the Shemitah cycle, you take 10% and give it to yourself. You have to take it up to Yerushalayim, and if not, you have to be paided, you redeem it, you transfer it into money, plus add 5%. V'hekdesh shenivdu. Also the same thing applies if somebody donated fruit to the Beis HaMikdash, you want to eat those fruit, you redeem it from the Beis HaMikdash. So it was redeemed. It's yours. You're Yisrael. You could eat it. Anybody could eat it. Not a big chiddush. The Gemara says it is a chiddush. A woman, these groups, they make all this challah stuff. They have a bunch of challah. They go, they give it to the kohen. Literally, it's like a truma. The kohen could go and you could use it. Who could use it? A kohen? Even Yisrael could use it. Because we said in the Mishnah, according to the Tanakama, Yisrael could use truma for his Eruv. So, Koyan b'chala is not necessarily dafka koyan. It means typically a koyan, but Yisrael also. Aval loy betevel. Tevel means that none of this was done. It's tevel. It's also to eat this food, so I can't make an erev out of it. V'loy b'meiser rishon shlein into trumasai, and not meiser rishon that was given to the Levi that the Levi didn't take off his 10% to give to the koyan. V'loy b'meiser sheni v'hekdesh shlein nivdu, and not the third thing meiser sheni that Yisrael didn't redeem. If it's not redeemed, you can't just sit there and make an Erev out of it. No, but because you can't eat it, it's not a good Erev. Anything you can't eat, no one in the world could eat it. So how can you make an Erev out of it? It's like something that's asabana. It's like something that's asabana. It's not, right now it's not edible. Not edible, it's not a good Suda. Suda has to be edible. So the Gemara, Baruch Hashem, we're there where we need to be in time. Now we have to rush a little bit. The Mai, Rabbi Isai, I find this very fascinating, this Gemara. We had this Gemara, I think it's the only time in Shas. I don't know, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say this. I didn't check. That the same exact Gemara we had in Brachas, in the Sugi of Zimun, the same exact Gemara we had in Masechtas Shabbos when it came to Tiltul, the same exact Gemara we have today in Eruvin, that's 3 Masechtas in a row, and the same exact Gemara per word in Pesachim, that's the following Masechta. 4 Masechtas in a row. Obviously, the Gemara wants us to know this Gemara really well. The Mai. Shkoyach. The Mai. Haloi Chazile. How could you use the Mai for an Eruv? You can't use it. Now, Rashi points out, this is according to Sumchos. We have to say it's according to Sumchos. Rashi, does he point it out? Maybe not. It has to go according to Sumchos, who says that it has to be roy for that person. Because according to the Tanakama, I could use yayin, I could use truma, I could use everything. So why not mine? Says the Gemara, mi goidi boy mafkilu lenichsei v'hava ani v'chazilei. It's not enough. According to Tanakh, it would be enough that an ani could come along and eat it. No, since he himself could become an ani by just being mafkir everything he has. So hashtanami chazilei disnan machilim saniyim demai. Rabbi say we had this Gemara on Daf Yomi mamish word for word. We're turning to Daf Amud Aleph Amud Beis, sponsored by Dr. Listhouse, Nim Nishmas Mordechai Yosef ben Aaron, and sponsored by Usher Anonymous, Lim Nishmas, his mother Roisa Bas ben Yomin. Now, let's see if I can find this thing real quickly. Yeah, that was the only thing I said. Well, I messed. I had here an email from him, but okay, I'll have to wait till tomorrow. He explains what make it a great day means. Very. All right. Oh, wait. I did bring it. I did print. I know I have it here. Oh, here it is. It says like that, real quickly. Hi, Rebelli. First of all, I want to tell you thank you. I love the Shiur and listen to it on YouTube every day. I owe you an explanation on the saying make it a great day. I did write an email with the introduction idea, but you skipped it. The reason why I chose to remind everyone is because I've been always pulled into situations led by my outer environment that control my moods, anger, etc. Until I realized that it's my choice to choose my moods, to control my inner being, to make it a great day. Therefore, I'm very passionate about this concept. I use it every day and tell my clients, friends, and family to choose to make it a great day. And of course, with a smile, I hope it works. May Hashem bless you to continue to make it a great day. That's an amazing word. Asher Anonymous. Shkoyach. All right, so, says the Gemara, this is not machil misanim d'mai. You're allowed to feed the poor people d'mai. That takanas chachamim, that you have to take truma from, trumas meisers, from d'mai, that you bought from Menam Arz, doesn't apply to poor people. Ves achsanyo d'mai. Achsanyo, we said, remember the soldiers, Jewish soldiers, not Jewish, soldiers, you feed them, it's your chiv to feed them, so you give them from this d'mai. They're like poor people. Says Rashi, Omer Avuna, Tana, B'shama yoimrim, ei machilim sanim d'mai, u'b'sil yoimrim machilim sanim d'mai. We had this machlokes as well. B'shama say you cannot feed them, according to B'sil you could. So memela, you can become poor by giving up your nechasim, and memela, you could use d'mai for an erev. U'b'maiser rishon shenitla. Pshita, so let's go back. Step 2 is you take 10%, you give to the Levi. And he did what he had to do, step 4, and he gives 10% to the kohen. You can use it as an erev. Shkoyach avada. Says Gemara, leitzricha. No, it's a big chiddush. Leitzricha shekdima b'shibalim. Meaning, what happened was they went out of order. Midarais, you have to go 1, 2, 3, 4. He'd skipped number 1. He skipped it. He didn't give truma g'dayla to the kohen. He gave to the Levi. In other words, instead of there being 98% left, and from that he took 10%, which is 9.8%. He took 10%. He gave him 0.2% more than he was supposed to. The question is, does the Levi have to go ahead and give the portion to the kohen? The truma g'dayla to the kohen. Where did he do it in? B'shibalim. It looked like this. And when it's like this, thank you, when it's like this, you fix the sound also? Shkoyach. Wow. Very nice. Thank you. This has no chi of trumas and maisers, Rabbi Isai. Why? Because it's not this. It has to look like this. It has to have miruach where he smears it down, he smooths it down, and it's grained. This is still in the shaft. There's no chiyuv. When there was no chiyuv, he went along and he took and he gave meiser to the Levi. Step 2 happened, step 1 didn't happen. Sorry, step 4 happened, trumas meiser. He gave the purple truma of the meiser. So in other words, step 2 happened, step 4 happened, but no step 1. And the chiddush would be that nevertheless he can make an erev with it. If you jumped the gun and you did step 2, you don't give truma. Shenemar vari moisim imenu trumas Hashem meiser mina meiser. Here's the pasuk. Vari moisim imenu trumas Hashem meiser. You have this in the Gemara. I get it, but I just want to point out something. So meiser mina meiser. This is a pasuk talking to the Levi, and he's supposed to take meiser out of the meiser. He got 10%, and he's supposed to take another 10% from that. Meiser, purple from the red. Meiser mina meiser. V'loi truma g'doilo trumas meiser mina meiser. Don't do 2 steps. Don't take meiser from the meiser and truma g'doilo. One thing and one thing only. So why is it if a guy takes trumas meiser, he jumps the gun, he goes to step 2, when it's in this, what's the word? This stage. It's in this stage of, it's already done. It's ready for trumas, but he jumped it and he went to step number 2. Maybe in that case also the pasuk is telling you, pasuk says mefurish. Only one thing your Levi is mechuyev to do. Meiser, don't give truma g'doila. In all cases, who told you only in the case when it's in the shaft? But when it looks like this, it's nice and smooth, then he does have to give truma g'doila. Says the Gemara, that's why there's another pasuk. Mikol mas roiseichen torimu eis trumas Hashem. And it says over there, Mikol. This should have been in red. Mikol, Kol Trumas Hashem. You have to give all the types of Truma, even Truma G'dayla. So what's the question? The pasuk says over here you have to give every type of truma. The pasuk over here says only one type, only meiser, but not truma. So which one is it? That's Rav Papa. Umar Isa. Mehecha Teisa, that this pasuk right over here, only take one meiser, is talking about a case where it looks like, where's that, the guy? Like this. This pasuk matches up with this pasuk, with this thing. It's grain and that. And this pasuk over here goes with this. Maybe it's the opposite. Says the Gemara, I'll tell you why. Because there's another pasuk that says, look at this. It says in this pasuk over here, it's brought down in Rashi, Reish is the gancha tiroishcha vitzarecha. We're familiar with this. The gancha. Dagon. What's dagon? Grain. And grain is this guy, this stage. So when it's over here, then you mechuyev to give all trumas and maasros. When it's before the stage, before the gancha, then you are potter. Says the Gemara, Omar Isa, hay idgan, v'hay loy idgan. Now, if you're at step, where are you? Now we're holding by green. He took 10% and he's supposed to give it to himself. He does everything perfectly. He redeems it. He has cash in his pocket. And now he's going to take the fruit that he redeemed and use it for an Eruv. So the fruit that he redeemed is regular fruit. He can sell in the store. What's the problem? The Kedusha transfers into cash. That he puts in his pocket. One day he's going to go to Yerushalayim, buy a nice steak. And the fruit that was Meiser Sheni, he can do whatever he wants with it. So what is the big chiddush that I could take that fruit and use it as an Eruv? I could eat it. What's the problem? Hekdesh is the same thing. Instead of being his fruit, he took the fruit from the Beis Hamikdash, gave the Beis Hamikdash cash so they could do some renovation in the Beis Hamikdash. The fruit goes out l'chulan, you could eat it. There's one step that you have to do in addition to redeeming your fruit. You have to also give the Beis Hamikdash a fifth. He didn't do that. He didn't do the chaymish part. So the chiddush is that that's not essential. You're supposed to give it, but if you don't give it, you still can make an eruv out of it. So that's a pretty big chiddush. You have fruit that you redeemed, but you did 50% of what you're supposed to do. You forgot to give the extra chaimish. That's a big one. Kol mashmalon, I can make an eruv out of it. Avalei b'tevel. Now, fruit that never had any of this, zero, complete tevel, is the rice to eat, right? Pshita. No, he did this stuff. Or, sorry, he didn't do it. He didn't need to do it because it's not necessary in this case. So he planted it in a pot that doesn't have preparations. So Memela, he's not mechuyev to do this. Rabban said he should do it, so it's only chiv the Rabbanon. That's why don't make an eruv out of it. Betzim in the rice, he should be able to. Don't. So now, we're holding over here. Ma'aser Rishon. The guy gave 10% to the Levi. The Levi was supposed to do purple. He didn't do it. Don't make an eruv out of it. Pshita, lo tzricha shekdimoy b'kri. Oh, so I don't even know where that picture is. You know what kri is already? He jumped the gun once it was mechuyev and trumas ha'maisers, once it was nice and smooth. The pile was smoothed out. V'nitla memeno trumas ma'aser related to truma g'doyla. He jumped to step 2 instead of step 1 when it was already miruach. In that case, what do we say? That the Levi has to give Truma G'doyla. He can't get out of it because we have a pasuk for it. Maybe the Havamina of Rav Papa. Why? It says in the pasuk, Meiser mina Meiser. I'm not mechuyev to give Truma G'doyla at any situation. No, there's another pasuk that Abaya whipped out, and it says over here, Mikol. That's the chiddush, that you have to give truma.
Why not?
Why? Yeah, no, I would have a havamina that you don't have to give komash malon, like the Maskonas HaGemara, that there's a second pasuk that tells me kol truma seichem, because of this pasuk, meiser mina meiser. I only have to give meiser out of my meiser if I'm a Levi, I don't have to worry about the Kohen Gadol's Truma G'dayla. One meiser, Trumas meiser, and not Truma G'dayla. That's what that pasuk says. And we said that's an afkamina of whether, yes, that applies in this situation of a shibalim, but not in a kri. That's why he can't use it as a because he didn't give the Truma G'dayla, which in this case he has to because it's already smoothed out. That's why he cannot use it as an Erev. Meiser Sheni, step number 3. We got to get this in our heads. Step number 3 is to give Meiser Sheni to yourself 10%. But you didn't redeem it. You forgot to do the whole process of changing into money. So of course you can't make an Erev out of it. Pshita, famous halachas. He did the redemption, he redeemed it on cash, but not properly. What does that mean? He used the unminted coin, and you have to use minted coins for this. You can see the depiction of something. Hegdish, and in Hegdish, when he redeemed the Hegdish, he did it with real estate. He thought he's doing the Beis Mikdash a favor. He gave them a nice building in Manhattan. No good. It has to be cash. It has to be metaltalin. Says the Mishnah, what if I send a messenger, a katan, or shaita, somebody doesn't have das, cheresh, somebody doesn't hear, or deaf mute, or a shegitz, who doesn't believe in an Eruv, as the Gemara is going to describe. It's a kusi, no Eruv. It's not an Eruv. Let's say you told a nice yid to go, you receive it from him. I'm going to send my child down the block, and at the end of the block, from a nice guy that believes in Eruv, he believes in the Torah, believes in the Rabbanans, will take the Eruv from him and put it where? At my Makom Shvisa, my place that I am going to designate as, I'm going to be dwelling there symbolically on Shabbos, and from there I could go another 2,000 amos. Harayz Eruv, it's a good Eruv. Says the Gemara, why can't a katan make an Eruv for you? When you have Eruv Chatzeres, you take a little child, you tell him, run around to all the neighbors of all the Chatzeres, he'll get the Eruvim from them, and everything is good. Like Ashia. Believe it or not, Eruv Tchumim, which we always hold is the Rabbanon, only according to Rabbi Kiva's Deraisa, and some others, but Eruv Tchumim, you have to say, this is a Makom Shvisa. I have to be kaina a place. I have to say, I am dwelling, I'm residing here on Shabbos. That a katan cannot do for me. How could a katan be kaina a place? He can't be kaina anything. He could bring it somewhere, but he can't say that. Where a katan, I could use a katan, that's because the Eruv Chatzeres happens by itself, and Memela, I don't need the katan. You could be a mamish, a frumer, a kusi with a gross beard and a hat and a the whole thing, but they don't believe that. We have to be careful from these guys. These kusim, kusi ger emes, ger rais, they become gerim because of the lions. Not the bottom line is when it comes to the rabbanans, they're not gers the rabbanans, and this is the rabbanan, so we can't be saying mechanim. V'im omar la'achar lekabel imenu arei zeruv v'leichel shdimud loy matilei. Rabbi said, remember what two animals used to be human beings and they turned into animals? Toilet remembers that? Owl. You say owl. Remember last time you also had that ha'ara. He says owl also. So monkey and elephant, an owl. Where do you see that? I don't remember the owl part. But Dara Flaga, it's the reverse of what the Goyim think, that monkeys turned into humans. We believe that humans turned into monkeys and elephants. Says the Gemara, elephant is one of the weirdest looking animals. If you look closely at an elephant, we're used to it. But think about it. The trunk and the ivory and the kitzur. All right. Yeah, but it's strange shenkamayim. You have to really look at it from 2 feet away to chap that, yeah, he used to be a human being. First of all, they're very smart. They remember stuff. Says the Gemara, you should be chayshesh that maybe this child who's going to meet the Rav down the block, he's not going to get there. Rav Chisda said somewhere else that he's watching from his porch, he sees him going. Maybe the Rav won't even take the Eruv from him. It never happened. We could use a side in all Shas. Nothing to do. Even if I give my Eruv to an adult, to a Rav, maybe he's going to forget. No, Chazaka, we have a Chazaka. People do what they're asked to do. If they say they're going to do it, they're going to do it. And where the Rav Chizda say his halacha, ahoy itmar, the sanya nesani lepil. You give your Eruv to an elephant. V'ylichai l'koif. Interesting. The Gemara mentions these two. It's a raya against you, because otherwise it'd say an owl. No, because you could give it to a pigeon, he'll bring it over there. Nesani lepil, you give it to the elephant, then he brings it to the makom shvisa. L'koif v'ylichai, the monkey brings it. Ein ze Eruv. If he tells the Rav, go take it out of the elephant, I'm going to send my elephant 2 blocks down. He's a very good elephant. He listens to me. Take it out of his trunk. Maybe it won't arrive there. He sees him from the porch. Maybe the Rav will ignore the instructions and keep on walking. That we have a chazaka, someone that you ask to do something, he will do it for you. Rabbi Isai, Shmelke Gottman had a very nice idea. I think we should institute it. He said, until Yom Kippur, everybody that's watching should take one kapitel Tehilim that's different than the other one. So when we say kapitel Tehilim, no one can continue saying his Tehilim, but if we have a kapitel Tehilim, we can finish the Sefer Tehilim every day. As a group, we'll finish every day, and that was his idea. So if you want to sign up, I don't know how to do this. If you want to sign up, you could grab your kapitel Tehilim from, I don't know, MDY something. Shkoyach Noam. You're still on. Don't be insulted. Oh, you know, it might be good because he's leaving soon to America to sell his Reagan. So we're going to need, instead of having... Shir ma'alais ma'amakim l'sicha Adonai. Adonai shema b'kol lidin es davka shavais dekol da'achanoi. Ima benoi tishmoya Adonai mi'amoid. Kimcha slicha leman tivorei. Sadonu kivsanav shil